Hello everyone, my name is Untitled Chapter and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing well because I'm doing fantastic, and today we're going to do a little update on the Lenovo Yoga 730. Someone in the comments asked me to open it up, so that's what we're going to do, and we're also going to look at some things that I've done to manage my battery. Okay, so first things first, someone wanted me to open up the back of this thing. They wanted to know whether or not this thing has expandable storage or if it had extra RAM slots, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, let's get started. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Torx T5 screws all around the back of the laptop. So let's begin opening them all up. Okay, I got all the screws out now. Do keep in mind that you have to watch out when using a screwdriver on the back of this thing, because some of the screws in the corners are actually angled, and that causes, well, my screwdriver to slide out and cause scratches on the back, so be very careful with that. Now all of that is loose. I should be able to pry this thing open somewhere. Okay, just using a little plastic pry tool to get in. Honestly, don't know whether or not this is the right way to do it, but should be fine. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we're in. It's a little stiff, but it looks really fine. It has a lot of dampening materials on the back, but a lot of clicking mechanisms, so that is why it is so sturdy. But it's a really good aluminum panel, so don't worry about anything like that. And this is the inside. So let me get the camera here for you. Okay, and now we are inside. You can clearly see the M.2 drive right over there. You can see the Wi-Fi card over there. CPU fan, GPU fan, all nicely cooled, and this laptop is seriously cooled. It doesn't get hot at all. Even under stress test or video rendering, it gets like 56 degrees. Then we have the I forgot the size of it. I think a 51 watt-hour battery. So it has a capacity, if you're like familiar with phones, it has a capacity of 4,453 milliamp hours. So it's slightly larger than my phone. I mean, 1,000 larger than my phone. And I think that the RAM is over here. I think. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go and check that out. So give me a second. Okay, yes guys, the RAM is under here. There's a few latches. There's one there. Another one there. Another one on that side and another one up top. If you put a plastic little pry tool through it, and please use plastic, don't use anything metal, just to avoid causing damage. But pry those open, and then you should just be able to lift it up, also using a pry tool, and there is an extra RAM slot. Keep note though that it's up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, so no 32, not that I think. The motherboard only supports up to 16, because there's 8 gigs soldered onto the motherboard, and the other 8 gigs can be put into that RAM slot. So if you want to upgrade the RAM, you can upgrade it to 16 by just affording an extra 8 gigabyte DIMM. Now, that's not gonna be too much to spend, but if you really need it for that video editing, yes, you can upgrade down the line. So hopefully this answers your question. Okay, everyone, I put the laptop back together, and now I want to give you guys a little updates on battery performance and a thing that has been bugging me a little bit. So, run the lock screen now, and most people that will use this laptop will probably unlock it through the fingerprint sensor. It's just that it's not the most reliable fingerprint sensor. I've added my finger like 4 times, and it still sometimes doesn't catch me, to the point where it just says pin required, and then I just have to enter the pin. So it's not the most accurate fingerprint sensor. It's actually, I would go as far as to say it's one of the worst that I've used, but then again, I come from a standard where we have the OnePlus phones, and you know, that's always a hit. It's never really a miss. But yeah, fingerprint on this device, I'm gonna lock it again here. Not the best. I mean, sometimes it gets you and sometimes it doesn't. I set up my thumb as well. My thumb works a little better, but like when you hold it in tablet mode, you can hold your thumb on it, but it's finicky. It's not the best fingerprint sensor, so keep that in mind. Then we come to battery performance, and battery performance is really good. It is really good. There's just a few things you might want to keep in mind. So one thing is that my screen was never on full brightness. I thought it was, but it wasn't. So if you go to your battery management, you also get the brightness indicator right there. And that brightness indicator is all nice and well, but it is very inaccurate. Because you get suggested bright, brighter, dim, dimmest. Like, what the hell does that even mean, right? Just give me a percentage or something. Well, in order to enable that, you have to disable something that this laptop has for some weird reason, and that is having a adaptive screen brightness. And you would think, like, why would a laptop need an adaptive screen brightness? I would just put it on the brightness that I want. Well, it has it. I don't know why it has it, but it has it. So in order to fix that, you go to Start and you type in Edit, and then you get Edit Power Plan, and then you're going to go ahead and edit your power plan. Now inside there, you go to change advanced power settings, and inside there, and actually let me just focus on the screen so you can actually see what I'm doing. I mean, I might have to create screenshots and such, but here we are on that screen, and right here, I don't know if you can see this or not, but on the bottom of this scroll page, so on the bottom of this scroll page, there's display, and under there, there's enable adaptive brightness on battery and plugged in. Turn those both to off, and you should be fine. So then you will just get percentages instead of the bullcrappery that we have gotten with the adaptive brightness on, which is the suggested bright, dim. It's bullshit. Just give me the brightness percentage. So that's what we get now. We get 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. So if you thought that your screen was really dim, even on the brightest setting, this is probably the reason. Other than that, there are a few other things that I have done with the battery life. Now, there is just one more thing that you probably want to do. So this laptop, obviously, for the most of the time, is going to use the Intel UHD internal graphics to do all of its rendering. So we're talking web pages, we're talking basically anything that isn't graphics intensive. So for Adobe products and gaming, this laptop will prefer to pick the NVIDIA dedicated graphics. And if you don't believe me, you can go into the NVIDIA control panel and actually check it out per program yourself. So if you right click on the desktop, you could go to the NVIDIA control panel, which will show up here. And then over here, we're gonna get manage 3D settings, and over here, program settings. And this will show you the settings that NVIDIA chooses per each individual program. So over here we got Adobe Lightroom, for example, and over here it tells me that it auto-selects the NVIDIA GPU to use instead of the Intel GPU. So that is a thing that if you don't believe me, you can check out, or whether or not you think a program that you think shouldn't use as much battery, but check out if it's using the NVIDIA dedicated graphics or not, or restrict it from doing, or restrict it from changing anything by just forcing it to use Intel graphics or the NVIDIA graphics. You can change that, so keep that in mind. But because it's using the Intel graphics most of the time, you probably actually want to mess around with the Intel graphics settings. So if you right click on the desktop again, you can go to your Intel graphics settings, and there's a few options here. We got display, we got video, we got gaming, 3D, and power. You would go to the power page, and there you have presets. You have maximum battery life, balanced mode, and maximum performance. Now mine only goes in maximum performance if it's on power. If it's on power, it goes maximum performance for the display, but if it's on battery saving, it wants to stay on maximum battery life. And you can toggle this slider, you can change the presets. So this slider is all the way to the right for maximum battery in a maximum battery mode, and it has some enhanced power saving enabled as well, which will dim the screen a little bit more. Honestly, on 100% brightness, don't notice it, but that is something to keep in mind. So do reduce this, and of course when you're plugged in, just change it to maximum performance and you'll be fine in that department. So yeah, that is another little battery management thing. There's one more thing that you can do to increase battery life even more, and that is to use a program called Throttle Stop, or Intel's own Extreme Tuning Utility, or Intel XTU, and using that will allow you to undervolt the CPU, so it will use lower voltage than is actually needed, and then you can get a little bit more battery life out of this thing. But it has held up very well so far, and I haven't need to use it. I tried to use it a little bit, but Throttle Stop is one of those programs that needs to stay open. Intel XTU doesn't need to stay open, but like I said, it does, or I think I said, it doesn't work on this model. I don't know why. It might be a BIOS thing, although I did update this thing to the latest BIOS. Also go check that out if you buy this model. There is another BIOS update, so install that as well. You can just install it through Windows. You don't need to go into the BIOS yourself and update it. It's a executable file that you just run, restart the computer, and you're on a new BIOS. But so far, this laptop has held up very well. I might gonna post some more updates on this thing. Let me know if you have any more questions that I can answer for you. At least I hope that this has helped some of you out. Well, and that is basically it. So if you guys learned what you wanted to learn, please let me know and leave a like on that video. And of course, if you didn't like it, you know what to do. But if you did like it, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified the second I do something again. And of course, go to my Instagram and Twitter to get news updates, or go to our Discord community to meet some more like-minded people.